Hello everyone, it's Andy again at Kinder Kitchens, and we've got another video for you today, and this video is part of a 3 series of videos that I created about the cost of a kitchen. So you'll find all 3 of these videos on my YouTube channel at Kinder Kitchens, and the first video that we made was about how much does a kitchen cost. And as always, we weren't looking at the cheap end kitchens, as in budget outlet kitchens, flat pack, hardboard backed, cheaper end of kitchens, let's just say. We were looking at the mid-range. So if we can split those into 3 groups, we've got the mid-range where you would expect a high street kitchen retailer to be. The cheaper end is kind of more, budget kitchen supermarkets. We all know them. And then there's the expensive end, £50,000 plus of handmade kitchens. I don't know anything about either of those other 2. We focus on the middle section, and I've done lots of videos before about what you should be getting for your money, what makes a good unit, what makes a good door. So if you're unsure about any of that stuff, then please check out my other videos, and you'll find some useful information about that. So today we're talking about that midsection of kitchens always, so your independent kitchen retailers. And this is the 3rd video. The first one was, as I say, how much does a kitchen cost? There's a calculator within that lot. It's a bit complicated, but it's actually quite easy, but the video's a bit long. But I do give you the answer at the beginning, so by all means check that out. You'll be able to work out a pretty accurate cost of your kitchen. I've checked and double checked that thing and it works. The next one was about what you should be getting for your money. So we'll assume that you're shopping in that section, and let's suppose you've got a 4 square metre room and your kitchen is going to be about £15,000 for a good quality unit, door, a granite worktop and some average appliances. So at that price point, let's suppose you're shopping if you're looking for that kind of product, this video is for you. So first of all, you're going to find your kitchen retailer that you like. So you've gone out there, you've done your research, you found a kitchen retailer that's local to you guys. They've presumably come out, measured your kitchen, you've had a quote done. You like the kitchen, you like the stuff, you like the guys, you trust these guys to do the project for you, but it's a bit over budget. Or maybe it's not over budget, but you'd like to save a few quid anyway. And I don't blame you in the slightest. It's a complicated, expensive process as it is, so anything that you can save on the kitchen you could put towards your decorating or your soft furnishing or any other work that you're doing. So the video is going to be of some use to you. I've worked in kitchens a long time. I've done kitchen design and sales, and everything I'm about to tell you is kind of how it is. So let's get cracking. I've got my notes in front of me, so I'm just going to read through those and just give myself a few prompts as we're going so I don't miss anything. But let's assume, first of all, that you've found the retailer that you trust. So I have done other videos on how to kind of do that actually, or give you information on that in my other videos. But you're happy with everything, you just want a little bit off the money. And just to be clear, if you've got a £15,000 quote from a kitchen company, there's nothing in there that's going to turn that into a £10,000 quote, because there just isn't that kind of markup on kitchens anyway, where half can just be knocked off. It doesn't work like that. So, but you're certainly going to save yourself hundreds of pounds, maybe not thousands. Well, maybe a couple of these tips might look at thousands, but certainly hundreds of pounds. And anything that you can save goes towards your other project, so it's worth looking at. So you've got your preferred kitchen retailer, and we're going to use a few of these ideas just to see if we can get it that way. So first thing is your installation package. So you may be buying on a supply only basis, you may be buying with an installation package, which includes preparing your room, so taking your old kitchen out, your electrics, your plastering and your installation is all tied in with one package from the same company. And I personally would always recommend doing that. There's lots of reasons I could go into it, but we'll stick to money for this one. And the top and bottom of it is that in 2023, if you're having an average 4x4 square metre room done at the moment, and you want your kitchen taken out and disposing of, you want your electrics altering, so a little mini rewire is going to take place in your kitchen for your new design. It's going to be replastered throughout, and maybe skirting board and architraves replaced, and then the kitchen that you've chosen is going to be installed, including connecting the appliances and plumbing up your sink and connecting your dishwasher and washing machine and so on. Then you should be paying around about £3,500 for that ish. And that shouldn't really be much more than that. If it is, I mean, different kitchen companies use different methods. A lot of kitchen companies have self-employed installation team. Nothing wrong with that. It's, you know, actually, if you're in the game, then a lot of the best fitters out there are self-employed. They don't necessarily want to work for one company, and I don't blame them, because I used to be self-employed doing the same thing. That's not a problem. And a lot of times, of course, you're just paying them directly, which is also probably money saving, because they're probably not VAT registered. So, but for you guys to organise that for yourselves, unless you are a joiner or a kitchen fitter or an electrician or a plasterer, or your brother's a plasterer, or whatever, unless you've got hands-on to those people, chances are you're not going to get that much cheaper than that. I'd be very surprised. I mean, our own installation package is around about that price, and we don't make any money on that at all. As a kitchen company, all of that money goes to the fitters. So I know it's the right price of what they earn, because I know how much they earn. If it was more than that and you're paying the company directly, chances are you're paying the company for your installation as well as your installation team, which is okay. If that's how they do things, that's fine. But it shouldn't be too much more than that. And chances are you should take that package, because it's probably going to be dearer to do it for yourself. By the time you've looked around, found all the tradesmen, organised them all to turn up in 1 2 week period, 1 week period, whatever it is, depending on your project, it'll be more hassle. It will be probably more expensive. You're not going to get an electrician in to do that first and second fix it for much less than £600, which is what you're basically allowing for in your 3,600. And if anything goes wrong, it's on them. If anything goes wrong and you're organising it, it's on you. So you didn't communicate this information to the electrician. Now a wire's got to be chased back out of a wall afterwards, and a plasterer's got to come back and patch it back up. You didn't explain you weren't clear with your fitter that it was his job to plumb the dishwasher up, and now he wants a gas fitter in, or you need a gas fitter to connect your hob. You didn't allow for that. All of these extras will fall on you. Whereas if you are getting the company who you're buying the kitchen off, it's all on them. You can just turn around to them and complain at the end and say, well, you didn't make that clear. I'm not paying for that because you didn't make it clear. You didn't give me a quote for that. It wasn't part of that. No surprises at the end. And if something goes wrong, it's on them because they're organising it. And that can be serious amount of money if you decide to do it for yourself and something goes wrong. Project managing is not as easy as it looks. So that would be my first piece of advice, is to use their installation service, and then there's no surprises coming with the money. And like I say, it's probably cheaper anyway. So next one comes is and this relates to your kitchen design. So what we're going to do is ask your designer to make sure that your design is cost effective. And when I say that, what I mean is, if you imagine a room, a 5 metre room, and you've put a big run of wall units on there. So there's a panel at one side, there's all the doors and the units, and there's a panel on the other side, length of cornice. And let's suppose there's 5 units, 5 1,000mm units. So you've got that much storage. Now let's suppose you get the same units, but you break them up into different parts of your room. So you've got 2 there, you've got 2 there, and you've got 1 over there. Same 5 units, but they're spread out. Now you need an end panel on both sides of all of them. So you've gone from 2 end panels to 6 end panels, because you've got 6 separate sets of units. 2 of them are together and 1 on its own. And that's not cost effective, because you're spending a lot more money to get exactly the same amount of storage. And particularly in the area that we work in, there's a lot of stone property, farmhouses, and there's nooks and crannies and chimney breasts and odd shapes from years and years of having buildings altered, because there's some old buildings around here. So you end up with the right mismatch of trying to stick units in and optimise the space as best you can. And sometimes you might lose 1,000mm of potential wall unit space, but the price can come down £700 or £800 just like that, because having separate units here and there costs money. If a worktop just goes, if you're having a laminate worktop and it just goes over 8 meters, you're buying another length of 4 meter top just to do a little bit. Ask if there's ways in which the design can be optimized a bit. Might mean a slightly shorter run there. It might mean not having 2 separate units, but having the 3 together somewhere else. But it's worth asking your designer, and if she's good, or if he's good, he will be able to do that for you and understand what it is that you're trying to do. Because, We all want as much storage as we can, of course, but ultimately there are ways of just optimizing the design a little bit. It can make a big difference. So next one is appliances. So you design, we've talked about that, and the next one's appliances. So if you buy an appliance for, let's suppose you were to buy an Endosit appliance, which is sort of cheaper end, you're probably going to get 2-year warranty, parts and labour. And if you buy a NEF appliance or an AEG appliance, you're probably going to get 2 years and parts and labour. There's probably not that much difference. Does it look a great deal different? Probably. You'll be able to tell that one looks a bit snazzier than the other. The warranty is not going to be really much different. It looks a bit snazzier. What's the last thing that really is any different? And it is functionality. You know, you're going to get a lot more functions with a more the £700 NEF oven. You are going to get a lot more functions than you're going to get with a cheaper alternative. Do you really need all that functionality? If you've got the budget for it, then yes, you need them. My own kitchen, I've shopped for mid-range appliances, and that's absolutely fine for me. I don't particularly use all that functionality. I'm not particularly into brands, so that's absolutely fine for me. And the savings for that can be significant. I'm not saying put Endosit appliances in a £20,000 kitchen. But maybe Samsung have hit the market really, really hard over the last couple of years, and they've got some really good looking appliances, and they're not bad on price. The warranties are about the same, and I think it's a really, really good choice. So it's worth having a look round just to see if there's any appliances that are maybe a little bit cheaper. As I say, do we really always use all the functionality of our dishwashers? Probably not if you're like me. So that's something to think about as well. Some good savings to be had there, hundreds of pounds per appliance sometimes. And another thing on appliances as well, the showroom that you've gone to see may have some X-Display. That's worth looking at. I like to change our displays reasonably often, and remember, if you buy an oven or a fridge that's not been on display in a showroom, it's probably never been switched on. It might have been opened a few times, but the warranty will start when you receive it. It's not like the warranty's been running in the shop for 2 years and now you're getting it in the warranty's loft. That warranty will start when you get it. So if something goes wrong in the same time period as if it was brand new, it will be the same as far as you're concerned. And it's a good way of getting some money off, because obviously it's kind of second hand. It's never been used, but it's second hand. And I know when we get rid of display stuff, it normally goes out at half price. So if you've got a £700 oven, that's a £350 saving, something like that. It's worth asking the question. Just see if there's anything on X-Display. Also, sometimes kitchen companies have stuff that's been bought for another client that they didn't like, or it didn't fit properly, so they've had to return it into the shop. They may not have returned it to the suppliers, so maybe it's sitting downstairs waiting for somebody else to have it, in which case, again, you can save some real money on there. So it's worth asking that question. X-Display appliances, there's nothing wrong with them. It's absolutely fine. It's a good idea to do that. So what have we got? Price grouping on appliances we've talked about. Same functionality. Integrated appliances, of course, we can't see integrated appliances. So if it's an integrated fridge, you can only see the inside anyway, so does it really matter that it's maybe not got it won't have the name of the company on there anyway. So next one is worktops, and more specifically quartz and granite, which everybody wants these days, and we do a lot of both, although quartz has pretty much dominated the market these days over granite. So just a quick few points on that. So granite comes out of quarry, gets quarried, cut to size, polished, templated for your kitchen, cut, polished, and then installed. So there's a process to that, and quartz is all the same, plus a manufacturing cost, because they basically take stone and crush it down and then put colours into it and then bond it all back together again. So quartzes are generally dearer than granites. The problem with granites is they only come out the ground that they come out the ground. That's the only colour you can have. With a quartz, there's lots of different types of colours, and of course white, if you're watching this in 2023, then white, marble-esque type worktops in quartz are super popular. They look outstanding, especially with a pale door. and they're beautiful. So but quartz itself, there's lots of different manufacturers. There's even unbranded quartz, which a lot of kitchen companies use, and the price difference can be huge. If you're buying a branded quartz, then most companies, you know, Silestone and all of the recognized branded quartz companies have pricing groups. So they'll have a group 1, a group 2, a group 3, a group 4. Are you buying a quartz out of group 3? Because if you are, ask to see all of the group 1, group 2 options from that manufacturer or a different manufacturer. You know, not much can go wrong with quartz. I'm not saying you can't stain it, you can, but you can stain any quartz. I don't care who's made it, it can be stained. You can chip any quartz. I don't care who's made it, it can be chipped because I've seen it done. It's unlucky. It's a great solution to a worktop. It feels and looks amazing, but it can be chipped. So, you know, maybe not quite as upmarket a brand, and ask to see those group 1, group 2 colours, because you may be able to find something that's very, very similar from group 1 than the group 4 quartz that you were looking at. And maybe after you've had it in your kitchen for 6 months, are you really going to notice that? And the saving can be substantial. Quite easily between a group 1 product and a group 4 product for a lot of quartz suppliers, you may well be talking £3,000 or £4,000 difference. It's pretty big. Pricing difference in quartz is wild. Some quartz are absolutely astronomical, £10,000 plus just for the worktops. So have a good think about that. And maybe just look at the cheaper ends ones, or even a granite. Like I say, there's no real difference in terms of quality. It's just that colour. You know, if you're looking for something white, there are very few options. If you're looking for something darker, chances are you might be able to find something with granite. So that's worth looking at. Okay, so that's the main things. 2 things you'll notice I haven't covered there: units, the carcasses themselves, and the doors. And the reason that I've not covered them in there, because I don't want you to save money there. That is the most important part of your kitchen. Have a look at my other videos of what your unit should be like, including the ironmongery, drawers, stuff like that, and the doors. If you're compromising on those, you're not going to be happy in 5 years' time. Trust me, get that bit right. So no compromise there. So next, we've gone through all that process. We may have saved some money, we may not, but we're now left with our quote. Ask for a discount. It's not a swear word, just ask for a discount. I'll tell you now, from a sales perspective, all companies, I don't care if you're selling cars, holidays, kitchens, whatever you're selling, a company always has 2 prices, one that they want to sell the product at and one that they would sell the product at. So just ask the question, is there any way that you could reduce that cost for me today? We've been through all of those things. We've optimized our design. We've looked at appliances, worktops. You know, could you offer me a discount? Is there any way you could knock something off this? They're not going to turn around and offer you £1,000 off something, but they might offer you £100 off. They might offer you 2, 3, 4, or even £500 off. It's okay to ask. They might offer you an appliance for free. Say, okay, I'm happy with that. Would you knock the price of a dishwasher off? Would you knock the price of a hob off? Ask the question. You know what? They want to sell the kitchen as much as you want to buy one. You're both in this together. You're both working together here. So just ask the question. It's okay. It's not a swear word to ask for some discount. That's absolutely fine. Fact is, most salespeople or companies would prefer it if you did, because you're making their job easier. You're effectively selling the kitchen to yourself. So you've asked for a discount, and we're going to ask for another discount. We asked for £300-400 off, and we got some money off, and we're going to ask for another discount again, but this time we're going to offer something in return. So you might, supposing you've asked for your discount and they've said, okay, you can have some money off, and say, okay, but could I ask for a little bit more, and I will pay you a deposit today. I'll give you a deposit today, so you know that I'm definitely having this kitchen. You don't have to do any more work for this. I'll give you a deposit so you can knock me a little bit more money off as well, and I can put that towards my decorating. Or you might say, okay, thanks for the discount, but I'd like a little bit more discount, and I'll have it fitted when you want me to have it fitted. So it's not an extension, there's no time restrictions, you're at the back end of summer, and I tell you what, when are you quiet? So our installation teams typically quiet straight after Christmas or November time. Could we do it then? It would suit us. Yes, that's fine. But could you knock me a little bit more money off? So you're asking for a bit more, but you're giving something in return. Very worth doing. So now we've got our discount a little bit further. And then also say, do me a little bit more discount, but what could I do for you that you would prefer? And ask the person who's selling the kitchen or the design consultant, say, what is it that you would like off me? Because you might not know how they're necessarily going to be able to save money themselves and consequently offer you a discount. And that might look like, typically at this point, I need to gather lots of information about their final choices. So if you could make all of those final choices today and then authorize me to order this kitchen for you or pay your deposit, that will save me then having to phone you later, email you later, find out if you've made your mind up, try to get you back into the shop again or into the design studio and get your final choices out of you, iron out the details around your room preparation. Save me all that trouble by answering all those questions for me today, and then I can afford to give you a bit more discount. So 3 stages there: asking for the discount and offering something in return, and then maybe trying to squeeze it a little bit further and asking if there was anything that they'd like you to do, because you never know. Then you're helping each other, you're both helping each other to bring the cost down instead of just asking for a discount directly. So 3 points to that. Okay, let's summarize that then. So we started at the beginning. You found your kitchen retailer. Installation, try to use the full package, and then the responsibility is not on you and it's cheaper. Make sure your design's cost effective, might work. Price groups for appliances, have a look at that. Possibly X-Display or something that they may have that was for another job that they want to get rid of, which might be suitable to your design. Integrated appliances, remember, we can't see the branding anyway. We've talked about quartz and granite. There's nothing wrong with granite, there's nothing wrong with quartz, it's absolutely fine, but it does go over a massive price spectrum. So let's have a look at some of those group 1 quartzes and maybe some granites, because if there's something in there that's similar, that's a biggie. And then we've gone for the discounts. And hopefully by this time you have saved yourself some money. How much realistically are you going to save? I would have thought at least £500, and £500 is better in your pocket than in somebody else's pocket. So hopefully that's been of some use to you. I hope that you take those techniques to your preferred supplier and that works out for you. And that'll conclude the 3 videos that we're doing on pricing basically. So hopefully that's been of some use, and I will see you all very soon. Take care, bye bye.